Hello everyone, my name is Babar Jhumra and I love mentoring. Now, I've been involved in mentoring for the mentoring partnership for more than 2.5 years now. And I've successfully mentored about a dozen people. Now, what I love about mentoring is basically I get personally involved. It is more of my personal interest, and the feeling of fulfillment is just amazing to the level that I want to do it as much as I can, as much as time allows, obviously. But it's more than just that. It's more than my personal feeling. See, when I moved here more than 6 years ago, I was given a very negative prospect of what Canada is and what Canada has to offer to me. People told me I made the biggest mistake of my life. My first 3 months here, I started doubting myself because of the negative negative views that I was getting from people. Now, having said all of that and having gone through all of that, I really wish I had someone to tell me, it'll be all right. Don't worry about it. And at that point in time, when I felt helpless, there was one person who I used to talk regularly other than my wife, and that was my mom. My mom basically told me that you've taken a big step, and you need to follow it through. And I raised a gentleman. I did a good job in raising my son, and my son is not a failure. My son can achieve anything that he sets his mind to. And that was mentoring for me. Now, there are two types of mentorship. There is an intentional mentor and an unintentional mentor. An intentional mentor is some people like you and me who basically get paired with people and you intentionally work to make them, your mentee, successful. Now, that's an intentional mentor. That's a choice. That's a choice you and I make on daily basis. And we commit our time, we commit our effort, we commit our emotional strength towards making sure that the individual that we are mentoring is successful. And then when you get a thank you email like the one that I got received yesterday, and I have about a dozen of them, that is the reward by itself. You get a smile on your face, a sense of satisfaction, and you feel you made a difference. Now, an unintentional mentor would be someone like my mom. She knows she's helping me out, but she's not mentoring me. She knows she is there for me. I know she is there for me, or she was there for me. But at the end of the day, it is the unintentional mentors that make a difference in your life more. And I'm sure every one of you here has had that one figure or two figures in your life who always gone back to. You've always spoken to. You've talked about the difficulties you're facing. They've heard you. They've tried to give you advice from the best of their knowledge and their position. And you feel somebody's got your back. And that is an unintentional mentor. Now, having said all of that, let's talk about how are the ways both intentional and unintentional mentors empower their mentee. And it's quite simple. They or good mentorship provides insights insights into an industry, into a type of a life, into achieving their potential that they already had, but they didn't realize how they can capitalize on that, and or they didn't even know they had it. So that's one. Second is the blind spots. Now, I know all modern cars have that little blinker on the side view mirrors that goes on if somebody's in your blind spot. Do you know when you're going through life, you've got blind spots? And you need people to tell you about your blind spots. I'll give you mine. I love iPhones. I love Apple. I don't even think twice when I'm in an Apple store, and when I like a product, I don't even think twice about the price of it. I should, but I don't. And that's possibly my blind spot. I end up spending $1,500 on a cell phone and its cover and its accessories and so on and on. So you need to have somebody to tell you that, hey, do you really think you need a $1,400 or $1,500 phone when a $300 phone does the same? That's a blind spot. The next is strengths. Everyone has strengths. And as Albert Einstein says, everyone's a genius. But if you gauge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, the fish will spend its entire life thinking that it's stupid. Trust me, try competing swimming with a fish. You'll know she's a genius. Now, the next is discipline, self-discipline, or individual disciplines that you might be interested in. When you talk about discipline, it's a very vague term. I have issues waking up at 7 a.m. I don't like it. Absolutely. But if there's work to be done, if things need to be achieved, I don't really have a choice but to wake up at 7 a.m. and follow through on the day to get the work done. Now, if that's the case, that's a discipline I have to impose on myself. That is a discipline I need to achieve, and that's a discipline which is a requirement to get the work done. Now, last is potential. I can see potential in every one of you. But that doesn't mean that you see the same potential. One of my mentees in the past year was a qualified lawyer, practicing lawyer from South America, who had established his legal practice and even helped the president, not the current president of Brazil, or the troubled one, the one before that, in his campaign as the head of the legal aid. He moved to Canada and he couldn't even get a job at Tim Hortons. He was disheartened. Lucy connected me to him. I sat down with him, spent 8 hours a week, and I'm very happy to say he is now senior legal executive advisor at booking.com. Now, that wouldn't have been possible if he had not realized it, that he has the potential. He was disheartened. He had spent thousands of dollars getting advice, talking to tutors. He was at the verge of breaking down to a level that he said, I made a mistake. I should not have come here. And that made me realize that this is exactly where I was 7 years ago. And he needs to see the potential that he has. and he needs to capitalize on that potential. I talked to him, I worked with him, and I didn't do any wonderful things. I didn't make him believe in something that he wasn't. I just showed him that what he really was is a gift to Canada. Now, that's that's how I feel about mentoring. And I'm sure most of you are more passionate about it than I am. But together we can make a change one person at a time. Thank you very much.